Welcome to your 16-week Hyrox training program. By now, you guys should have received the first few pages of the training document, plus week one's training plan. You should have been added to the performance forecaster and tracking matrix, and you should also be on our Facebook group because this is where you're seeing this video. So just to go through the first few pages of the document, it's going to give you an overview of what the program's about and what are the outcomes that we want to achieve. Obviously, we're going to have stacks of fun doing this all together. It's going to be a great 16 weeks. When you scroll down underneath that, then you'll be able to have a look at the breakdown of the blocks that are coming up. When does the program start? When does testing occur? What's in each one of the blocks? What are they about? When our deload period is, and then obviously when actual race is, August 17th. Can't wait for that one. Then underneath that, it's going to give you a rough overview of the training in a little bit more detail. So what's happening in block 1, baseline testing and building, what's happening in block 2, block 3, and block 4. So make sure you have a read of that, get your heads wrapped around it. Underneath that, there's 2 sections here on nutrition and 1 on recovery. So when we're training for performance, nutrition is going to be super important to make sure that you're fueling your body adequately so that you can train hard enough and get the stimulus you require to get better. So nutrition is key. So there's a few points under that about pre-workout fuel. So how do you fuel your body before longer sessions? Because as we know with Hyrox, it's going to be over an hour's worth of work. For some of us, it might be an hour 10, 20, 30, even longer. So we need to ensure that we're fueling our bodies appropriately for those slightly longer durations. And now that's not something that you want to do just before the race. You want to ensure that across this full 16 weeks, you're experimenting with foods, practicing what tastes good, what sits in your stomach well, what can you actually work out hard on as well. So there's a few sections there on a few ideas of foods that you can take in, an example of calorie breakdowns that you can have specifically as well, stuff to play around with, but then also talking about what should you consume after sessions. The quicker you can recover after a session, then the better you can hit that next session after. Recovery section as well, super important. We know the drill. You need to sleep well. You need to fuel your body. You need to do your active recovery days. You need to have your rest days. We need to be very smart with how we load our bodies across these first few bits of time, few weeks, because we are going to be adding in all these extra sessions. So we need to be really on top of recovering in between each one, taking full rest days, making sure that we allow our bodies that recovery time in between. There's a few markers there that you can look out for just to ensure that you are aware of what your body's going through. So if you notice that you are a little bit more stressed, fatigued, sore, whatever it is, something that's slightly out of the norm, then we need to ensure that we take some rest periods in there. But obviously we'll be communicating across the weeks. Scroll underneath that, it'll have our rule books as well. So for your solo, your doubles, and your relay, make sure you have a read through it so you guys know exactly what's involved. But we're going to go through the movement standards and how it's all going to run on the day more and more across the weeks as we get further into the programming. Those are the first few pages. Then underneath that, there are the tests that you guys will complete. So across these first 2 weeks, we're going to be doing 5K run, and then all the elements of the Hyrox race will be tested as well. The full distances, all the weights, everything that you're going to be exposed to in the race, we're going to test each element to make sure you understand how it feels, what it is, what the movement standard is, and obviously how to progress and get better across that time. So have a read through those, what the distances are, what the weights are that you need to carry, push, drag, throw on all those moves. We'll also release and send a few videos as well about movement standards. Some of the tests we're going to do together, some you guys will be required to do on your own. So make sure we're prepared for that. Those are the first few pages. Any questions on that, please leave a comment underneath. Stay tuned for the breakdown of week 1's training.